Ooh.
Whoa. It's very bright.
It is a bit bright, yeah. Hi, everyone. My name's Aoife Wilson. I work for Eurogamer. And a couple of years ago, myself and my colleagues, Johnny Chiodini and Tom Phillips, and another colleague of ours, Christian Donlan, we all started playing this really amazing game all at the same time. And we ended up coming into work every morning and sort of chatted about what we'd seen and what we played. So we decided to turn that into a podcast called Arcadia Baes. And now, a few years down the line, we find ourselves wanting to do the same with Life is Strange 2. And we get the opportunity to do that on stage today with Jean-Luc Cano, who's actually one of the, well, he's the lead writer and co-director of Life is Strange 2. So before we get into it, we thought we would show a little trailer. So let's roll the video, please.
Peggy 18.
What's happening?
What you and your brother have is the most important thing.
Wish I could go back to my town.
Hey, just the son I wanted to see.
The cops are talking to everybody at school.
Hey, don't ever touch my brother.
I didn't do anything.
Okay, step away, now.
Calm down, officer.
Shut up. On the ground, now.
This is a nightmare.
No way.
Sean, maybe you could come back.
I'm sorry, Layla. I can't. I have no idea where we are. What I'm doing. Feels like we're walking nowhere.
Sean, I'm scared.
I'm right here. How am I supposed to take care of us out here?
I know who you are and what you did.
Daniel, no!
You and your brother are going to jail for the rest of your lives.
Leave us alone! What's happening?
What you and your brother have is the most important thing. He needs you, and you need him.
Daniel, come on! Daniel! Oh my God!
Oh, man.
You can get a hot dog man.
I know, you can get a little hot dog man.
Have you saw him walking around?
We took a photo with him, yeah. I think a lot of people here probably nabbed a photo with him. That looks very exciting. Sean, like, obviously you were the lead writer on Life is Strange 1 too, so I guess you know, a question to start off with would be, obviously we've moved the story on now and we've left Max and Chloe's story is now complete. So how did you go about sort of, you know, evolving the story and taking it on to new chapters? With new characters and a new setting?
Yes, when we finished to work on Life is Strange with Michel Cor and Raoul Barbet, the two game directors, you know, we asked ourselves, okay, we are going to work on a totally new game, but in the universe of Life is Strange. So what does mean Life is Strange as a franchise? So is it only about Max and Chloe and Arcadia Bay, or is it something else? So we talk a lot, and we figure out that Life is Strange means the real DNA of Life is Strange is about relatable characters.
Yeah.
It's about social themes we want to explore. It's about everyday problematic.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of supernatural stuff in the top of this. So when we figured this out, we were able to imagine the new story of Life is Strange 2. So it's about now Sean and Daniel,
yeah.
The two brothers. The events of Life is Strange 2 take place 3 years after the first chapter. So there will be some connections, maybe stuff like this. And yes, now we are going to deal with the problematic of education. You know, in the first one, we have this coming of age
Yes.
story and problematic of Max. Now it's about education between Sean and Daniel.
Yes, because I mean, the first story, it was, you know, it was a set location. Arcadia Bay was almost a character in itself, and now we have the Diaz brothers going on a cross-country adventure, really. You know, it looks like they're going to meet a whole bunch of people. They're going to go to a whole new set of locations, and I guess we're moving from that coming of age, and the central pillar of this story is almost, I guess, responsibility. You're responsible for your younger brother. Like, the sibling dynamic is actually at the core of this, right?
Yes. The main experience in Life is Strange 2 will be to follow Sean and Daniel from Seattle, the beginning of the game,
yeah,
to a little town called Puerto Lobos in Mexico. So this is the line that will guide you through the 5th episode of the game. But the main experience in Life is Strange 2 will be to take care of Daniel, you know? In the first Life is Strange, your action will have consequences. You all know this kind of sentence. It was right, but now in Life is Strange 2, your action will have consequences on the story, on yourself, but also on Daniel. Everything you are going to say as Sean, everything you are going to do, some actions and stuff like this, will have repercussion on Daniel's behavior. So if you behave good, it will be good. If you behave, it's not as simple as this, but that's what it means. You know, your action will have consequence of the behavior of your brother.
It's quite interesting as well because, you know, obviously as Max, you were in control of your own powers, but you're almost a step removed from that now. So it's very volatile in that sense that you're never quite sure what Daniel is thinking, and you just kind of have to guide him on his way.
Yes, in this game you can't rewind time.
Yeah.
Because you will have a power, you know, but. You know, in the first Life is Strange, the power of rewinding time was deeply linked with the weakness of Max. Max was someone that didn't want to grow old, so yeah, we created this power as a metaphor of weakness. In Life is Strange 2, you will have a power linked also to who Daniel and Sean are. So you won't be able to rewind time, and all of your choices and all of your action will be definitive this time. It's like when you raise your kid, you know, you can't make mistakes. In Life is Strange 2, you can't make mistakes, but you can't rewind time.
How much can you say about the power in Life is Strange 2? Because obviously you can't rewind time, but maybe at the beginning of that video we saw a little bit, maybe a consequence of that power being used. I know fans would love to hear exactly what that power is or what you might be doing with it.
Yes, and I will be so happy if I could tell, if I could answer this question.
Now is a great time as any.
No, the game will be released in 5 days, so you will see what will be this kind of power in Life is Strange 2. But no, I won't spoil it. You know.
But how early on in the creative process of sort of coming up with the format of Life is Strange 2, did you know that you wanted to take that the supernatural element and make it that one step removed from you as a player, to make you kind of a bystander, as Aoife kind of put it? Was there ever a period when you thought about giving it to the player?
I'm not sure. I don't understand. I don't have the good reception, you know. So can you? Yeah.
So obviously, you know, basically the question is, how early on in the process of working on Life is Strange 2 did you know that you wanted the power to be in the hands of somebody else rather than the player?
Especially a younger person too.
Yeah. To be honest,
move up.
Today I can't tell that it's Daniel who have the power. We don't know that.
Yeah.
So you will figure it out. But yeah, it's when we created Life is Strange 2, we wanted to do something completely new. So we changed the location from one place like Arcadia Bay to a road trip from Seattle to Puerto Lobos. We changed the characters, we changed the themes. So yes, we wanted to explore something new with the power. So I can't tell you if it's Daniel or Sean or but yes, we wanted to explore some new territories.
So, sorry, you go.
No, I was just going to say, I know that you guys actually went on a cross-American road trip yourselves to prepare for writing this story, and I want to hear what happened on the road, because you deliberately went off the beaten path. You went to bars. You talked to strangers.
You're smiling. I can
Tell
tell you
us stories. Did that influence any characters or any settings?
Because you know what happened in America stays in America. Yes, we had these 2 road trips. I went to a road trip, me and Michel Koch. We went from Seattle to Portland.
Right.
And it was really nice. We saw one of the towns that inspired us for Life is Strange, for Arcadia Bay. We saw Garibaldi and stuff like this. And after that, Raoul and Michel went on a road trip in the south of United States. So where, yes, you know, you have to go from the Seattle to Puerto Rico, so you have to go through some states in the south of United States. So Michel and I make the higher part of the map, and Raoul and Michel make the small part. So yes, we went to bars. We talk a lot with people. I know that Michel and Raoul made this one rule, is to take every hitchhiker they are crossing.
Right.
Because, you know, as Sean and Daniel, you will have to travel. So you will have to make some hitchhiking.
Oh, wow.
So when you are doing some stuff like this, you are going to make good meeting. You are going to meet some good people, some less good people. You are going to meet a lot of different characters in the street. So we wanted to experience what is to live on the road.
outskirts.
So we sleep in our cars. We try to.
That's method, man.
How was that?
Quite hurt. It's hurt, but yeah, no, it was really.
Was that
nice.
you and Michelle in the same car, or
Yes.
was he in the front, you in the back, or?
No, with into the front seat.
Okay.
Like this. No, it was. We've been not chased by
it's important research.
We have some cops that you are going too fast. Okay, so we have this tax to pay because we were running too fast. So we experience what is it to live on the road. Not too much because come on, but yes, and we also watch a lot of documentary and a lot of movies about outcast.
Oh, yeah.
Living as an outcast is one of the main experience in Life is Strange 2. What is it to sleep outside when it's raining? How do you find food? How do you provide a shelter?
Like Into the Wild and films like that, right?
And that's one of the main things we want to explore in Life is Strange 2. When you say, okay, it's bad to steal, it's bad to lie, that's okay, it's common rules. But when you are in the streets, when you are on the run, and when you are to take care of your little brother, sometimes you will have to lie. Sometimes you will have to steal something. So it's something that we wanted to tell with them, that you have rules, and sometimes you have to break some rules. It's not all black and white. Life, it's about gray area.
But it's difficult to explain that to an 8-year-old. That's the trouble, right? That's where the interesting stuff comes about.
Yes.
I'm super curious about, so the end of their journey, they're headed towards Mexico, right? But Mexico is not just a place for them, you know, that they've chosen out of the blue. It's part of their heritage.
Exactly.
And I wanted to get your thoughts on your sort of the choice of these 2 characters with that heritage and what it means to them. And is that part of sort of this theme of being an outsider in the game? Are people going to look at these characters differently than maybe they would have if Max had been hiking through the woods? You know, maybe people would like automatically want to help her, but like these guys, after like a few weeks, maybe they suddenly see them as, you know, I want to help you.
Yes, that's exactly this. To play an outcast, or you know, an half Mexican in the way of Sean and Daniel. Yes, it's a part of an experience we wanted to tell in Life is Strange. Life is Strange, with Life is Strange, we want to show some minority, you know, that aren't always well represented in video games.
Yes.
So yes, for Life is Strange 2, it's a choice to star these 2 brothers.
And it's part of the reason that people love Life is Strange as a universe so much, that there is representation there, you know, and about Life is Strange 1, it was of LGBTQ plus, you know, group, whatever, and then now we've got like other avenues being explored too, right?
Yeah. And it allows us, during the game, to talk about, the social themes that we want to explore. We can talk about racism. We can talk about, everything that's happened in our world. We wanted to, it's important for us to deal with these everyday issues,
Can you, sorry, you go.
No, you go.
Can you speak to some of the other issues that are going to be approaching the game? So obviously you've got Mexican-American characters, you've got a theme of maybe homelessness as they're making their way through living rough. And we saw in the trailer what looked like a policeman holding a gun, threatening someone. Obviously that is a big theme in America at the moment. Is that something that we can also expect to see dealt with in the game?
Yes, it's yes, of course. It's basically the same answer. Yes, it's cop violence are something in America, but in France too, and I think all around the world. So our goal as creator is not to give our point of view on this. It's just to bring it in the game and open the discussion between the player about it. In the first Life is Strange, we talked about abortion, we talked about euthanasia, and we had a lot of letters and a lot of email, I don't know, of people tell us, okay, I was against euthanasia, but I played the game and I talked with my parents and it opened my mind and I changed my mind. In Life is Strange 2, talking about cop violence and stuff like this, I won't spoil everything we are going to talk in the game, but yes, it's about giving the subject on the table. So,
I remember sitting at that decision, and I sat there for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just put the controller down. Like, what on earth am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I played it through with my wife, and we just argued for about 20 minutes either side. So that was interesting. But to go back briefly to the concept of Life is Strange 2 as a road movie. I'm curious as to how that affects the way you form relationships with people, because obviously Arcadia Bay was somewhere you kept, basically every day you would do the rounds again, and you could see the same characters and talk about the new events and check in with them. But the Diaz brothers are constantly moving, how, was that challenging? How do relationships work in contrast, I guess?
Oh, of course. It's a totally different way of writing. When we imagine Arcadia Bay, we said, okay, there is a town, there are characters, and in episode 1 you are going to meet them. In episode 2 you are going to dig and find one secret. In episode 3, a twist, and they're completely changed, and stuff like this. In Life is Strange 2, it's not it's completely the different stuff. They are going to move, as the road trip. So the rule of the road trip is you meet people, you take experience, good or bad, and you leave them behind. So that's basically what will happen in Life is Strange 2, in sort of way, because you are going to stay a little bit someplace, but travel through some other, meet a lot of people, but really quick, you will have to make your own opinion on the guy.
Right.
It's, okay, do I trust him or don't? Or do I want to? If I'm going to make some hitchhiking, if a guy stops and looks like creepy, do I trust him and go on or not? It's immediate stuff like this. So sometimes you are going to be right, sometimes you are going to be wrong. But yes, we are going in a writing process. You are going to make some characters that are highly recognizable, relatable quickly. So, okay, I trust him or not. Sometimes you are right, sometimes you are wrong, but yes, it's good, it's bad, and stuff like this.
Right, and also so I noticed that the opening to the game, with the Seattle section that you've shown, takes place a couple of days before Halloween, day before Halloween.
Yes.
And then actually Captain Spirit, where we have seen the boys as well, it takes place a few weeks before Christmas. So there's actually quite a time gap there.
Yes.
So whereas the first season took place over the course of about a week, this looks like it's going to be much more spread out.
Exactly, yes. Yes, the whole road trip will last maybe a good year.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So they will stand in some places for a few times, travel through the road. But yes, you will improve the time on the road.
And is it going to be entirely linear? Is it going to sort of jump back and forth? We don't know. We're not saying.
Maybe.
Also, it's set 3 years after the first game.
Yes.
Is it in the Bay timeline or the Bay timeline?
It depends. What did you choose?
Oh.
Bay.
So in the first, you can play Life is Strange 2 without have played the first Life is Strange. Mm-hmm. But if you have played the first Life is Strange, at the beginning of Life is Strange 2, you will have some few questions to answer to make sure that your experience in Life is Strange 2 will be linked to the choices you have made in the first one.
Ooh.
Okay.
And you will meet Chris again.
Yay.
From Captain Spirit. And the decision you've taken in Captain Spirit will have an impact on your experience in Life is Strange 2.
How did you find the experience of writing for quite, I mean, not even just one, but a couple of quite young boys? I mean, the tone must be quite different to Life is Strange 1, whereas we're talking mostly young adults.
Yes, it's a totally different writing about when you are working with two brothers, because you have this bond between them, and even when they hate each other, they stay brothers.
Yeah.
You can say yes, you can say to I will never, but not now, not in Life is Strange 2. But yes, it will be totally different. We have the American writer we work with us with Christian Divine. We write all the dialogues of the game, and he did this amazing job by finding the tone of Sean and the tone of Daniel, and not making them cheesy, you know? When you have a little brother, I don't know if you have one, but sometimes you really want to kill him, but you can't, because it's forbidden. But, yes, you know, sometimes it's joyful to have the little brother, sometimes it's hard, and we wanted to explore everything of this relationship, because Sean is obliged to take care of him now, but he's 16. And when you are 16, you want to party, to find friends, find partners, and take drugs and stuff like that. No. Now, big boy, you are an adult, and you have to take care of your little brother. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, well, it's not funny you should mention Christian Divine. You work with him. But I was at PAX West a couple of weeks ago, and I actually saw him talk about the game, and he was saying that you send him stuff, and then he feels like his job is to Americanize it in a way, and to do the dialogue. He apparently hung out in loads of coffee shops just to listen to what teenagers sound like, which must have been amazing and torturous all at the same time. But how does it feel for you when you give a concept over and then you see it become, to use a phrase, Americanized? Has there ever been a time when you've gone, ooh, like it doesn't look so good from that side of the water?
No, because it's. We have a lot of exchange. So we give Christian a scene with what we want to tell in this scene is this. We have 5 or 6 dialogues, and that's it. Christian give us his feedback, and we are going to make that's good, that's not, but sometimes. Oh, come on, it's good. We have a lot of surprise, because yes, he's an artist too, and he put a lot of himself in the dialogue. So yes, it's a good collaboration between French guys who wrote the stories in America and American guy who work with French.
So it's not that you just pack off these beautiful French children and then they come back after 6 months saying ready for the mosh pit shaka bra and stuff like that. Okay.
Hella yeah.
Hella yeah.
Hella yeah.
Oh, please don't set one in England. It would be weird.
How many times do Sean and Daniel say hella in episode 1?
You will see. You will have some.
That's definitely one time.
Yeah, you will have some nice Easter eggs.
The thing I really like as well is that, I mean, obviously it's new characters, new setting, but you do find ways to carry the universe across. So obviously in season 1 we had the idea of like these animal guides, like there was the doe and the butterfly, and before the storm as well we had the crow and the raven. But in this, there are wolves, or there's a lot of wolf imagery in there. Which I can tell by your face already.
Yeah,
You're
maybe.
like, I don't want to talk about it because it's secrets. But
Maybe.
but are there more instances like that where you've taken like these little sort of ideas and sort of peppered them across the narrative?
Maybe.
is the reason that it takes place over an entire year that every full moon they turn into werewolves?
We've blown this wide open, folks.
Yes! Okay. Guys, we need to change the angle.
I would like to know about one of the characters we saw in the trailer that rolled at the top of this panel. The dude, he's got like brown hair and glasses and a big bushy beard.
Sounds kind of familiar now.
Just really handsome. And I just wanted to know about the inspiration for some of the characters that sort of they meet along the way. No, I'm not asking if it's me. Of course it's not me. I was trying to do a funny lead into a joke, a question.
Aww.
But oh well. I guess tell us about the inspiration behind some of the characters was my question, Tom.
You have a lovely beard.
Thanks. I love her very much.
No, you know, all the concept artists, when they created some characters, yes, they work with someone in mind.
Yes.
So, I can tell, yes, for Sean, it's, you know, the actor called Gael Garcia Bernal. It's one of his inspiration for his face.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
So yes, we have some little stuff from character, but I don't want to spoil the magic of how they are doing some stuff. Yeah.
Fair.
Were there any, I mean, like, honestly, the game, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who has deliberately avoided gameplay, but, like, it starts off with a bang. Were there any sort of directions that you wanted to take it, but couldn't, or, like, felt like that was a bridge too far? I mean, obviously, Life is Strange is about pushing those boundaries narratively, but is there any point at which you had to hold back a little bit?
I don't know.
Maybe.
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 Maybe. I can't tell now.
You can't say.
Sure.
I'm curious where the storylines lead, and obviously Life is Strange is known for its narrative branching decision-making. But Life is Strange 1, in retrospect to me anyway, was really all leading up to that one choice.
Yes.
And obviously without spoiling too much or anything, I know you can't say too much, is that sort of a point where you started thinking about Life is Strange 2? Did you start thinking about this ending and what choices there might be at the end of it?
Yes, yes. Because when we work on the story, and when I wrote a story, you can't begin to write if you don't know where you are going. So of course, yes, we know it's the story about Sean and Daniel. I'm talking too much, maybe. But no, it's a story about Sean and Daniel, and they are going to this travel, and the problematic we want to deal with is this. So in the end, there will be these choices, and that will lead to different ending, like in Life is Strange. So, and the experience you are going to go through the whole game will shape the end.
And you said choices, so does that mean there's more than just a binary choice at the end, or
maybe?
Maybe.
He's not going to give that away. Come on, you're skipping right to the end.
Mexico or bro? Calling it now.
What kind of experiences or emotions did you yourself tap into to sort of get that dynamic right? Like I know Life is Strange 1 was about coming of age, and you guys you nailed that teenage girl experience. But here you've got siblings, but it's also almost, I guess, fatherhood as well, because you're taking on responsibility for a much younger person, and it's all about education and being a role model as well.
Yes, when we create a game, we use a lot of ourselves, to be true. And as a personal stuff, when we were working on Life is Strange, I just became a father.
Okay.
So I think that the coming of age problematic, say, okay, you're not a teenager anymore. Now you have something to do, and you're an adult.
You got to be an adult,
maybe
right?
from this. And for Life is Strange 2, when I was beginning to write the game, my daughter was 4 years old. So I was just wondering, what is it to raise a child? How do you raise a child good? And I just figured that everything that I'm doing, good choice or bad choice, I was an example for my daughter. So for example, I say, okay, you don't have to say bad words, it's bad. You don't have to talk like that. So, okay, but when you're driving, You're saying a lot of bad words. Okay. So there is stuff I tell you, and there is stuff I do. So everything I'm doing, I'm an example for her. So I think the problematic of education came from this. Okay, I can write on this subject because, yes, it's touching me a lot and every day. So everything you will have in this game, that's for me. But Raoul and Michel put a lot of them, of course. We can make a game that touches us, without giving a lot of us inside.
Can you speak to having, speak to the decision to have two male characters as sort of the main leads this time around? Life is Strange did such an amazing job in its first season of portraying female teenage friendship. It was a bit of a risk to change things, right?
Yeah.
Yes, really. But as I told you, we wanted to change a little bit what we have done in Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Even if we really deeply loved Max and Chloe and Arcadia Bay and the first game, for us, when I mean us, it's Michel, Raoul, and I, the story of Max and Chloe is over. We have nothing more to tell. Maybe in
there's a comic book. Oh, wait.
Maybe maybe in a few years we will. I will wake up in the morning and say, okay, I know what happened in Max and Chloe. But for now, the story is over. So when we begin to work on Life is Strange 2, it was not obvious to make another teen characters. We have a lot of...
Grandparents.
Yes, maybe. We have a lot of different subjects, different idea of powers, different idea of stories. And when we figure out, okay, we want to talk about education, okay, but let's do this with two brothers and not a father and a child because it's obvious, and not a mother with... No, let's do it with two brothers, and that's what happened. So, yeah, we hope that people will love Sean and Daniel as much as they love Max and Chloe, but yes, it was hard to abandon them.
I do like that you did that as well. Like, it's almost like at everything that makes season one, you've almost gone like the opposite end for this. So instead of a set location, it's spread wide open. Instead of two girls, it's two boys. Like, and I like that you're almost pushing the boundaries and really testing what Life is Strange can be. It's like you could have gone the easy route, but this is the real sort of risky path. And we don't have long to wait to find out whether it pays off.
Yes,
or not.
Exactly. 5 days.
I know, not long at all. Sorry, go ahead.
You go.
I was going to ask about so obviously in this one, Sean loves drawing, right? And he also has takes his backpack with him. In Before the Storm, Chloe was all about graffiti. In Life is Strange 1, Max was all about photography. And I wondered whether, I think things like that really make these characters just special to people because they make them more than characters. They make them fully fleshed out people in the minds of fans. And I wondered what came first. Do you pick their skills and things that you want to focus on as a mechanic, or do you build the person and then almost make the mechanics from that?
The character came first. There is a difference between a character and characterization. The fact that Max taking pictures, it's linked to our weakness because I don't want to grow old, so I want to take time
and stop it.
Exactly. There is something like this with Sean's weakness and why is he drawing and why is he fixing stuff in its memory. It means something in the game, so you will discover it. But when we imagine the characters, we at the beginning focus on what they are inside, and then how to express their strength or weakness, give them some characterization.
Yeah.
So, right.
Do you want to ask a question? They did cut you off last time.
We're getting motioned out that we're out of time.
Oh,
I think.
no, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a last question?
I think Tom does.
Yeah?
If anyone was on the fence, thinking maybe it's a bit too different for me, what would you say as a member of Don't Nod to encourage them that this is still Life is Strange?
Come on.
No pressure.
What does this still have that Life is Strange fans will have loved from the first season?
If you have loved Life is Strange as much as I think you have, you will find everything you have loved in the first one in Life is Strange 2, but differently.
Okay.
Hot Dog Man?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think we've already seen him in the trailer, so at least we know Hot Dog Man is a sure thing. Jean-Luc, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, guys.
The game is out in 5 days, so
yes.
I can't wait. I don't know about you guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We've got the Ox Venture next, right?
Yeah, I'm not bricking it at all, so yeah, it'll be fine.
So, yeah, I think thank you very much, guys.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you very much.